for our listeners, if you are at the stage where you're like, you know what, I don't even know what coach to go with, sometimes even possibly getting their low ticket item just to see and get a feel, because different coaches, I find, depends on who you're working with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really resonates with different people,
Yes.
right? Have you had or been in different situations with different coaches and you found that like one of them worked better for one thing than another? Like, how did you kind of find this specific coach?
I find it basically through a mutual friend, and I knew that this company, which was owned by this actually a former colleague, has the right values. They were also like a family-friendly workplace, so I knew that they will understand my kind of values. And I not really worked with. I worked with a business coach. I think you feel. When someone is speaking to you, and I had the same experience. Not everyone is my client, I have a lot of like advisory calls, and some people immediately we are feeling that, okay, it was a nice talk, but I'm maybe not the person, maybe I'm not the personality who can help them, or maybe they are not really wanting what I have. It's completely okay. I think if you understand what your problem is, then it's easier to resonate with someone, because you can write down maybe, okay, these are the things what I'm struggling with, but you have to do that homework first, to have this kind of, even this unprofessional clarity, so to say, which is not done by a professional coach. But be honest to yourself and write down what you are struggling with, what are the keywords that you are resonating with, and then you will find the coach who are exactly telling those words. And ask your friends, LinkedIn, for example, is a great example. You can just write a DM, and even in a written very casual conversation, you immediately feel whether this person is too pushy or really wants to help, or check out their website. And so there is, luckily there is so much information, but I think honesty is really self-honesty is really key here.
Yep, I agree, love it. So when you transitioned from, okay, so now you're in corporate and you're like, you know what, I'm going back to entrepreneurship, right? What systems did you put in place for you to be able to, have boundaries and all the things that it takes to be a mom and run a business? And
I love this. Yeah, I love this question, because also my clients feel sometimes, oh, it will be so great if I transition from corporate to business. I will have so much freedom. And I always say to them, wait. The freedom you want is not really, it's something different, because, boundaries, exactly. So, at that point, I already had a small burnout, the pastry shop. I knew I have to build boundaries. So in my head, it was always like boundaries first and then clients. Mm-hmm. So I feel and up to this day, I fill my calendar with my own things, with family things, with appointments to, I don't know, doctors with the kids, or, everything kind of personal. And then I see where I have time to put my clients, and I don't need, all the clients in the world. I absolutely know my values in that. I know that I don't want to scale to, I don't know how many $1 million. I don't want to build a team. I like to be on my own currently. And if you know these values, it's so much easier to set boundaries and know where you are heading at, because many entrepreneurs who are starting out make the mistakes to copy someone else, right? So they say, oh, I want to be like that. I have to do that. I have to use that software that this other coach or whatever is using. And I have to send the exact same newsletters because I like them. But no, you have to find your own voice, because that will be authentic. That will resonate with your future clients, or even if you have a product, you have to communicate it as your own, and not to lose yourself on this path. I think this kind of what I was basically saying, that this honesty, not only where you need help, but what are your values and where you are heading at, and in what time frame you want to do it. I think it's very important. I mean, I'm a very strategic and logical and system thinking person, obviously. I cannot hide that, and I don't want to hide that. So I always build up this kind of matrix for myself where I am confident and what I like to do and where am I heading at in my business, and it immediately gives me the necessary boundaries. So for me, it was not that hard, that part to make, because I already knew after 40 that okay, at least what I want to have in this business, and don't make the same mistakes I did before.
I love everything you just said, right? I think a lot of entrepreneurs go into business and they don't think about what it is that they want. So for example, you were saying, write down all of the things on the calendar, the doctors, all the appointments, family time, vacations, all the things that make up the things, right? Family life, what family life looks like to you. And entrepreneurs dive headfirst. And they feel like, okay, in order to be successful, I have to serve at the expense of my family.
Yeah. And they end up working even more than in the corporate.
Oh, right? 100%. 100%. And it's not until years go by or they burn out that they realize I didn't need to be doing all these things because it doesn't make them happy. In speaking with your clients, do you emphasize to them that they should really think about what it is that makes them happy? Or, okay, what does that process look like?
Basically, when I start to work with a client, whether it's, a mom who wants to transition from corporate to business, or just standing at crossroads and doesn't know where she's heading at, whether it's another corporate job just with different conditions, or whether it's business, or whether it's being a stay-at-home mom and being confident in that decision, this kind of clarity is key that we are making. And I always say that basically one of my first questions or what we are working at is, what kind of life or lifestyle do you want to live? No matter what, we are not talking about positions. We are not talking about directions. We are talking about what kind of life you want. Do you want to be at a big conference in 5 years and, speaking in front of people? Is that what you want? No matter what your position or, brand or corporate environment is. Or do you want to be at your kids' birthday parties more? Or sometimes, people say that, oh, I want to travel and I want to have a shop. And I say that, okay, but these things are just the opposite. You cannot have a brick and mortar shop with an office and travel the world. So, let's face it. And if they say it out loud, it's very strong and very, very, sometimes surprising what they are saying, that what kind of life they really want, and changing that perspective. And I always obviously include the motherhood perspective, and obviously my clients are coming to me because I incorporate this in that. We are basically, because many moms say that, oh, I will miss my career path. I learned so much and I studied and, I have this kind of experience and I will lose all that if I step back now. And I advise them that, look, what is more important to you? Your kids are, I don't know, 2 or 4 years old, right? So pretty small. Okay, not babies anymore, but in the toddler phase. And these years will not come back, right? We can agree on that for sure. Mm-hmm. So but it's not forever, right? They will grow up. You will have more time. They will be more independent. Thank God. And maybe you only sacrifice 2 or 3 years that you are stepping back, but you are gaining so much more with your kids, which is also a foundation to their teenage years, where you don't have to be physically that much around, but mentally and emotionally. I have 3 teenagers. I'm very wise in this phase. I don't know what's coming, but so just making them confident in their decisions and making them understand that in motherhood, nothing lasts forever. Even, the diaper phase is over at one point. And also you can adjust your career. Maybe you cannot accept or don't want to accept a leadership position right now, but that does not mean that first you are not capable of being a leader. You don't have the skills to be a leader, and you don't have the chance to be a leader later in your career when you really have the time and can be focusing on that part because your kids are older a little bit, and you don't have to run all the time in the kindergarten and picking them up because they have a running nose, as it happens all the time. So it's obviously it's a different problem or different task with teenagers, but those kind of daily craziness, it's a bit over at that point because they are more independent. So we are adjusting the motherhood phases to the career phases or vice versa, which one everyone likes. So I make them feeling confident in their decisions and incorporating this, the whole career path with the motherhood path, so to say. It's very important for them.